expanded economic opportunity, and help thousands of people to build better futures. I'm Adam Miller, and I will make this city affordable again.
Californians, if you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer, choose the right law firm by asking, what are your highest verdicts? What experience do you have? How many lawyers are on staff? How many clients have you represented? Speak to Whites and Luxembourg at 917 Lawyers to get unmatched answers. It's the biggest financial decision of your life.
Call Whites and Luxembourg at 917 Lawyers. That's 917 Lawyers.
We like to be in control. That's kind of the human condition. And here, you're at the mercy of things you have no control over.
Breaking right now today weekend, the toxic chemical tank in trouble. Authorities in Orange County say it will either spill or explode. And this morning we are live with a dangerous situation forcing tens of thousands to evacuate with an unknown timeline.
This is Today in LA at 7 with breaking news.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Michelle Vias. We begin with the very latest. Right now, 44,000 people are under evacuation, and that's because this tank at a Garden Grove aerospace company is leaking a toxic chemical. We were there this morning when firefighters were using those sprinklers to keep the temperature of the tank under control. But the outcome has been made clear. Officials say this tank will either spill or explode. We know right now the current evacuation map right here. If you live inside this square, south of Ball Road, east of Valley View Street, west of Dale Street, and a portion of Trask Avenue, you are asked to leave your home. At least 4 evacuation centers have already been set up, but many are filling up quickly. NBC4's Annette Arriola is live outside a new evacuation center in Huntington Beach. Annette, good morning. A lot of uncertainty for those staying there right now, and we understand many have had a hard time finding shelter.
That's right, Michelle. Good morning to you. Hello, everybody. So far, there have been 4 shelters that have been established, the latest one here at Ocean View High School. They opened their doors, Michelle, at 1:30 this morning. That gives you an idea of just how many people have been sort of left scrambling, looking for a place to stay over the last couple of hours, right, and the last couple of days. But again, this is a very serious situation. Everybody's stressing just how bad things could turn within a moment's notice here. And a sense of urgency really from officials that have been working around the clock to keep this tank from failing. They have been dousing the tank with water nonstop to keep the temperature to about 60 degrees. Officials have warned that if the tank explodes, this would be the biggest hazmat situation in the state's history. Now, the leak was stopped, but evacuations did expand on Friday due to a valve problem on the tank, which firefighters said left them with very few options other than just allowing the tank to leak or explode. Now, late Friday afternoon, the Orange County Fire Authority said that the temperature of the tank had actually been stabilized, buying them more time to do some problem solving there. Now, the tank contains a colorless, volatile, flammable liquid chemical used in the manufacturing of resins and plastics, and it can irritate skin, eyes, and nose in humans. Now, officials have said that about 15% of residents who live in the evacuation zone are still in their homes, opting to bypass those evacuation orders. Now, the evacuation zone stretching all the way from south of the 22 freeway to Ball Road and from Valley View to Dale Street. Now, officials again are urging those who live in that area to head out. It has been a very difficult week for these residents who have been impacted, especially because they don't know how long the situation will last and when they will get to go back home. Take a listen.
You know, we left with what we could put in a little wagon and come out, and my cat. This is my hometown. And, I'm sorry. And I'm worried for everyone.
This is described as a potential bomb. It's not like a fire where you can see it coming. It's not like a hurricane or something like that. This could happen very, very quickly. And so people shouldn't take their chances. They should leave.
And here's a list of evacuation centers that are currently open and available for residents impacted by this hazmat situation. We've checked in with the shelters earlier this morning. They told us that there is still room, but it's very limited, and they are filling up quite quickly. Now, here at Ocean View High School, there was plenty of space at about 6:30 this morning. Like I said, over the last 15 minutes, we have seen more people arriving. So again, it's a situation overall, Michelle, that is changing moment by moment. But again, the message is that if you are still in your home and you are in that red area that we showed you within that map, you should leave right now. Michelle will send it back to you.
So unsettling. Annette, thank you so much. We also have a crew at Los Alamitos Racetrack. This is where a command post has been set up, as you can see, and this is where authorities are tracking the progress and evacuations. We just spoke with the Orange County Fire Authority. At this time, there are no planned news conferences for this morning, but that could change. And if there are changes, we will update you on air and on our NBCLA app. So in the meantime, they say they plan to post an update on their OCFA X account sometime at around 9 this morning. Well, let's talk about the chemical in that tank. It's called MMA. It's used in 90% of commercial and military aircraft for resin and plastics like plexiglass. And if you're exposed, the symptoms can be irritation to the eyes and skin. There are also respiratory issues and more. So coming up at 7:30, we have Nurse Alice. She's going to join us live. She's going to talk about the health impacts and safety precautions you need to take. And we want to continue our coverage with meteorologist Kelly Moody. Good morning, Kelly. You've been covering the air quality out there because lest we forget, we have about a handful of recent wildfires.
We have a lot happening in the atmosphere in general, and so we want to take some extra caution with this, and we're continuing to monitor air quality. The good news this morning is that we are seeing a good mix of what's considered good air quality that stretches from Long Beach farther to the north, as well as moderate air quality, which really kind of takes over the majority of our map here. Now, in terms of what we expect to see for today, again, it's that mix of moderate and good air quality, with the better air quality being at the coast, where we do expect to see a nice sea breeze continuing to come in and keeping our air nice and clean. Now, that said, it does not necessarily account for any changes that could be happening in our atmosphere in regards to additional potential fires or any additional potential issues that could be happening, of course, with this chemical leak in Garden Grove, or potential chemical leak, I should say. So one thing that everyone keeps asking is, when do I wear a mask? What do I do? And here's a couple of things to consider. If you see or smell smoke or any just unusual smell in the atmosphere, go ahead and wear a mask. It's only going to help. If you're experiencing respiratory symptoms, and that mask tends to help you, put it on. If air quality reaches unhealthy for sensitive groups, and you fall into one of those sensitive groups, which would be children, older adults, those with health conditions, if you're pregnant, if you have a heart condition or a lung condition, just put that mask on. You'll feel safer with it, and just have one handy. This is an evolving situation. We want you to be safe. Temperatures right now hanging out in the 50s and 60s. You can take a quick look there. I'll have a look at what you can expect with your full Memorial Day weekend forecast coming up in a few minutes. Michelle?
Kelly, thank you. A 3-month-old baby is safe this morning after an Amber Alert in Alhambra, but police are still looking for the driver who stole the car with the baby inside. It all started just before 5:30 last night when police were called out about a possible carjacking. The child's mother told police she left the baby in the back seat with the car running while she went into a house to visit a friend. It's not clear how long she was inside, but when she came back out, the car was gone. About 30 minutes later, someone spotted the car in South Pasadena. The car was still running with the baby safe inside. The child was evaluated and reunited with family. Investigators say the thief has no ties to this baby or the family, saying he likely didn't know a baby was in the car at the time. It will likely take days to repair a ruptured oil pipeline in East LA. A construction crew working on a fiber optic line struck the oil pipeline early Friday morning, and officials say about 2,400 gallons of oil spilled into a nearby storm drain and entered the LA River before the flow was shut down. So now several agencies are involved in the cleanup and spill response.
We have a specialist who's working to assess how much spilled, how much got into the river, and also how far down the river it got. You know, our priorities are protecting environmental resources like wildlife, the safety of the public, the safety of responders. Those are our priorities in response right now.
So if you live nearby the spill, you may notice an odor coming from that spill. But right now, LA County Fire says there are no health concerns. Well, avoid the long lines and get out and vote in person starting today. Vote centers across Southern California will be open from 10 in the morning until 7 at night. On Election Day, polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. There will also be trained election workers ready to help you out. To find a poll near you, just use our NBCLA app. Happening now, the rush to get out of town. This is a live look at LAX, where thousands of travelers will pass through the airport this holiday weekend. The TSA says it is completely staffed and ready to screen, about 18 million passengers, they say, at our nation's airports through next Wednesday. So the top destinations: Orlando, Seattle, New York, and Las Vegas. Road rage caught on camera, the manhunt for the driver, and what a family tells NBC4 happened just moments before. And a major change: what immigrants